Good morning, everyone. Pastor JC here, coming at you live this morning. It is a beautiful day here on the Space Coast of Florida. And I'm telling you, if you don't live in Florida, I feel sorry for you. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. As you can see, the sky behind me, blue, the clouds. Right here behind me is the vehicle assembly building at NASA Kennedy Space Center, and man, we've been sending up a bunch of rockets in the last couple of months, and it's really, really cool to watch. It's cool to be on this side of the state, see everything that's happening. But I hope that this morning you are waking up blessed, refreshed, renewed in the presence of God. You know, it's amazing to think of what God has brought us through. Not just in the last 2 years. I mean, yes, the last 2 years with the pandemic and all of the other stuff that's been happening in our world, but I've had a lifetime, y'all, of God showing up, coming through, being faithful, blessing me more than I deserve, and so do you. And this morning I ran across this quote from Tim Tebow. Almost everybody knows who Tim Tebow is. But Tim Tebow had this quote this morning that said, "Don't waste your time waiting. As you wait for wisdom, as you wait for an answer to prayer, or even as you wait for healing, if you will allow Him, God will always position you to be used." Purpose is always present, even in the waiting. And this really spoke to me today because last Sunday I spoke on positioning the body of Christ for revival and the importance of that. And so him speaking on getting in position as you wait to be used by God, even in the waiting process, is huge, because so many times we curse the waiting process. We get frustrated in the waiting process. When we're waiting on God to answer a prayer, or we're waiting on God to move and we feel like He's not doing it as quickly as we think He should, we oftentimes get frustrated, and rather than understanding the purpose for us being in the waiting season, we step out of that purpose. We get frustrated at God, we get angry at God, and we try to fix things ourselves and try to make things happen ourselves. And God is saying simply to us, wait on me. If you'll just wait on me, I will show you. God is saying, just wait and see. The psalmist said in Psalm chapter 27 and verse 14, wait on the Lord. Be of good courage, and He will strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. And I'm telling you, this spoke volumes to me this morning, and as I've been waiting, because, you know, at times in being a pastor, being in ministry, trying to juggle all the things we have to juggle, and sometimes feeling like things are not adding up the way we want them to, and things are not going the way we want them to, and there's not leaders for positions that we want, and there doesn't seem to be the enormous growth for which we've been waiting and praying. And sometimes in the midst of that, we can feel like nothing's happening. We can get frustrated with the waiting process, and we can step out of that and try to fix it on our own. And yet God is saying, wait on me, be of good cheer in the midst of your waiting, and I will strengthen you. I will strengthen your heart. Because you don't know that maybe in the waiting period, God has you there slowed down and quiet, because He's going to bring someone else into your life that in that moment, they need you to not be hurried and frantic and trying to do something. They need you quiet and resolved to speak something into their life. So I know many of us seem to be in this holding pattern. Many of us seem to be sitting in God's waiting room, just waiting for the moment when our name is called, and God is going to meet our need, or God is going to answer our prayer, or God is going to show up and make reality the visions and dreams that He's given us. But I'm telling you, don't become weary in the process of waiting, because if you will stay connected to God, and you will wait on him, I promise you, he will encourage your heart, he will strengthen your heart, and he will do what he said he's going to do. See, there are times in our lives when God is telling us, just wait and see. If you can be strong during the waiting period, if you can still trust God, even in those moments when it seems like nothing's happening and you're just trying to be patient and wait, if you can be successful in those things, if you can remain strong in that holding pattern, imagine the things that God can do with you when it's your season and it's your time and God's perfect timing has come in your life. Imagine what God can do with you in that moment when it's his timing. Don't get ahead of him, because if you're ahead of him and you're trying to fix it on your own, then your submission and God's timing won't line up, because you'll be so busy trying to do what you want to do that God's season can't become a reality in your life. Wait on him. Listen, if anybody knows how hard it is to wait, I do. I've been waiting for years for something that God has promised me, and it hasn't come to pass yet. I've been waiting in this holding pattern, and I'm just trusting God. So as I speak to you this morning about just wait and see, I'm speaking to myself. Just hold on. God's timing is impeccable. His seasons are perfect. Don't become weary. Trust him. I love you today. I'm praying over you today. Continue to pray for one another. Crossroads family, I want you to know how much I love you. And I'm praying for you. And I encourage you, pray for one another today. There are so many in our church that are in their families, in their jobs, in other things in their lives. They're in this holding pattern and a waiting season. And it's like they're just waiting to see what God's going to do. And in that process, the enemy is battering them and beating them up and trying to discourage them. But just hold on. Just wait and see. I love you. Pray for you. Don't forget about our Wednesday morning service tomorrow morning at 10:30. Also about our Wednesday evening Bible study. Man, I'm missing a lot of my Crossroads family on Wednesday nights. I wish you'd come back. This pastor misses you there. Come back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. I hope to see you there. We got a lot of things that are coming up for the summer, and I want you to be involved in them. A lot of outreach ministries that we're going to be doing. You'll be hearing about more about those in the days to come. But God is positioning us, church. God is positioning us for revival. God is positioning us right now in a waiting pattern, and so we just have to be faithful, even in that waiting pattern. I love you today. Praying for you. God bless. Take care.